Thom Hartmann here on the news. You need to know this. Germany is dropping nuclear power. Chancellor Angela Merkel announced plans yesterday to close down every single nuclear plant in the country by 2022. That's 17 reactors in all. Germany has the fourth largest economy in the world and the largest economy in Europe and generates about a quarter of its electricity from nuclear power, just like we do here in the United States. But already Germany has shut down 7 reactors in the wake of the Fukushima disaster and is now committed to doubling its renewable energy output by 2022. Germany will join Italy as the only 2 nations in the G8 that have ditched nuclear power. Currently, the renewable energy sector in Germany employs 400,000 people. Since the United States still has no plans to drop nuclear and switch to renewables and hasn't had a long-term energy plan since Reagan, let Germany serve as an example of how a nation can transform itself when its government isn't completely captured by special interests. Our democracy is screwed. If the Supreme Court's Citizens United decision last year didn't completely hand over our elections to corporations, then one federal judge in Virginia is making sure that it will. Judge James Kacharis, a Reagan appointee, ruled last week that corporations could hand over campaign contributions directly to politicians just like you and I can, something that has been outlawed by election law for a century. Judge Kacharis defended his decision by saying, Citizens United held that there is no distinction between an individual and a corporation with respect to political speech. Thus, if an individual can make direct contributions, a corporation cannot be banned from doing the same thing. This case will probably head to the Supreme Court now, and given the High Court's track record on corporate personhood, it's likely to be upheld. If you thought the 2010 election was a wash in corporate cash, just wait until 2012, when corporations can officially elect the best government money can buy. In the best of the rest of the news, in a new approach toward healthcare fraud, the federal government will start targeting bigwig health insurance executives rather than their companies when fraud is suspected. Previously, when a for-profit health insurance company was found guilty of fraud, it would settle on a hefty payout to the government and then go right back to screwing over customers. Realizing this, the government is trying something new, filing criminal charges against individuals at the top in the corporation. Lewis Morris, chief counselor for the Inspector General of the Health and Human Services Department, put it this way, saying, if writing a check for $200 million isn't enough to have a company change its ways, then maybe we have to have the individuals who are responsible for this held accountable. Finally, corporate criminals who profit off screwing over the sick in America could find themselves behind bars. A new report coming out of Japan shows the existence of Chernobyl-like dead zones, areas that will be uninhabitable for centuries after the meltdown. Soil samples 12 miles away from the plant are showing off-the-charts radiation contamination. One Japanese official even admitted the elevated levels are on par with the aftermath of a nuclear bomb that spews plutonium. Also, the reports show that dangerous levels of radiation have spread as far as 230 miles from the Fukushima plant. On the heels of this information, Japanese Prime Minister Naoto Kan is scheduled to face a no-confidence vote from the Japanese parliament this week. Kan is refusing to step down until this nuclear crisis is resolved, though as radiation continues to soar and new leaks are found at the crippled plant, hopes to shut down Fukushima within 6 to 9 months are dimming. South African President Jacob Zuma has arrived in Libya in hopes of brokering a peace deal in that nation's civil war. Conflict in Libya is escalating as a recent Al Jazeera report identified 6 Western Special Forces troops fighting on the ground alongside rebels. This is the first confirmation that Western troops are boots on the ground in the conflict. As NATO airstrikes have failed to bring down the Gaddafi regime over 2 months of fighting, a ground assault could be the next tactic. Let's hope President Obama keeps his promise that no U.S. soldiers will fight on the ground in Libya. In the last 20 years, food prices have doubled, and over the next 20 years, they could double again, according to a new report by Oxfam. The biggest reason why food prices are on the rise, says Oxfam, is global warming. Thanks to changing climates and extreme weather, crop yields have been cut in half over the last 20 years, while the population has skyrocketed. People in the third world find themselves spending as much as 80% of their incomes on food, 4 times more than what people in the developed world spend. The Oxfam report highlights 4 specific policies that world leaders need to pursue to prevent mass starvation in the near future: regulate commodities markets where speculators are profiting off food price spikes, increase food reserves, end the promotion of biofuels, and empower local farmers. That means we need to kick Wall Street and big transnational agriculture corporations out of the businesses starving people around the world just to boost their profits. Crazy alert. What's your dream home? A Washington State Craigslist ad is offering up quite the deal on a new home. Along with its 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and central heating, the house, renting for $4,000 a month, has an extra perk, a green room that the ad reads is set up for marijuana growing. You can easily grow over $125,000 in crop per summer and take the winters off or grow indoors during the winter. Again, this is a Craigslist ad. It's not surprising that whoever posted the ad did not provide an address for the house, and it's since been flagged and removed from Craigslist. I do hear, however, that the sellers of the home put on one heck of an open house party. And that's the way it is today, Tuesday, May 31st, 2011. I'm Thom Hartmann on the news.